Under arrest, dirtbag.
Let's go crazy.
In a world where pixels meet passion and every click ignites a new adventure. A world where anime character come alive and game developers' dreams meets gamer. Get ready as we usher in a new era of gaming greatness. This is not just an event, it's a journey. So buckle up, power up, and get ready to unleash your inner gamer.
Do you love playing video games? Or a professional live streamer in gaming? You can also step into the light as a professional esports player representing one of the biggest teams in Nigeria or Africa. So I guess you've landed on the right page, because here we take you into the world of games, gamers, and gaming, from tournament organizing to game shows, podcasts, you name it. You get to meet the best of the best in the esports industry right on this page. So make sure you share to someone, follow, and also subscribe to all our platforms. We're Game Evo Esports, the world of games, gamers, and gaming.
We've always been told that when the going gets tough, you've got to keep grinding. And for our last two final players standing in our FC24, K24 qualifiers, that's my one advice for them. Keep grinding. But one is doing this at 15. Joining me for our final session will be Big Ups from After 6 Esports. Big Ups, welcome to the stream. Pleasure to have you.
Yeah, thank you very much.
I mean, for the whole of the tournament and how everything went down, its competitiveness compared to others that we've played, how do you rate this one?
I think cause there is more like an international tournament. We've had lots of, the top form guys participating in this tournament. So I'm going to give this tournament a 5-star tournament. Yeah.
Exactly. Almost all the best players have been around. It's giving everything. It's giving the best of the best. But it's down for a final two. The creme de la creme. The best around. The last two standing. And one of them has been unbeaten. In one corner, coming from GL Legends, who's represented Ghana on international waters before, he's looking to do it again. Will come in Labista, and you've got to be Labista twice before you knock him off his pitch. In the other corner, we've got a man, 15-year-old Kiron, doing wonders. Just beat Montana, just beat Mayweather. Seems like it's on a rampage. Will it continue is the big question as we are in our grand final. Beggars, early thoughts before we go into the final. Let's start with Kiron. How surprised are you seeing him do this at this stage?
I'm actually surprised. In our part of the world, we don't really, see this a lot.
At that age?
Yeah, at that age. I think the last time we had someone like Kiron is, I think, somewhere 2014, who reached, he was Wonder Kid. Yeah, so, if you calculate the lifespan, it took from 2014 to now, it's like 10 years. Yeah, so I think it's very surprising to see him, but I'm really glad with, his performance and the potential he has at this moment. It's very, very good, yeah.
If you've got high praise from one of the best around like Beggars, then you are indeed doing something right. That is for 15-year-old Kiron. Shifting away from Kiron, to be honest with you, I think Labista cemented himself as one of the greatest ever because in almost every single tournament, he's there. I call him the mentality monster. He's right in the final again. Do you feel like he's taking this one home?
Do you feel like he's winning this one? Beating, Labista twice is not going to be an easy task. Because I'll give him a very big respect because he's someone he doesn't really grind the game
like the way
constantly.
Do,
yeah, and one thing I respect him for is he has his basics. It's very, very solid. Yeah, so he doesn't really do much with the glitches, the methods and all that, but he's really, really playing very well. And to beat him, you know how sweaty and how ratty he can be. To beat him 2 games. Bro.
Those 2 words for me, sweaty, ratty. The perfect description of Labista. But that's why he is a champion he is right now. And he's in the winner bracket final. And it could be mad. It could even, it's a crazy thought beating him 2 games in a row. Or beating him in 2 stretches, it's going to be mad. So we'll see how it pans out for Kiron. I think the finalists are getting ready and then we can go. All right, seems like we'll be having one of the players around for an interview. Kiron or Labista. Seems like Labista will be joining me on the live stream for our K24 qualifiers. Our man is in the house, coming up unbeaten, not dropped a single game. And that's the reason for all the smiles. Big man, I welcome you.
Thanks, bro. Thanks, bro.
How difficult is it playing the game for 6 hours, 7 hours, and not losing a single one against the best in the country? How difficult is it?
It's very difficult because it takes a lot of things, stamina, your mentality, and a whole lot. So you setting down to play for all these hours, it's not easy. So big ups to all the players.
Even before going to Kiron, you've been someone who's represented Ghana on the international stage. The opportunity has been presented to you by KD Sports, Game Evo, Event4 Plus. Anyway, everybody that has made this one possible for the K24 Ghana qualifiers. What does it mean for you to be in such a final again? And what would it mean for you if you do indeed win it?
Actually, the international level is the motivation. So when I hear anything international, I just try to put in all my best to represent the country and make them proud.
Well, we are definitely seeing his best, but you might be in for one last final push because the guy you're coming up against, he's been the underdog of the whole tournament. He's been the most surprising story, possibly the greatest story we've ever heard when it comes to FC Esports. 15 years old. He's already beaten Montana. He's already beaten Mayweather. Does that put just a little bit of fear in you?
You should ask yourself who beat him or who sent him to the
loser bracket. He's right here with me. That's just mad. So that's Labista, our finalist, and I'll leave him now to get into the game. Labista, you can go back to the console. We'll see how that happens. Big Ass will be joining me right back. But as usual, Labista looks confident. He looks so confident going in. I'm hearing we'll get our other finalists here with me. So Kiron, you can join me now. Kiron, we'll get a chance to see what Kiron's thoughts are going into the final. Wow. 15-year-old is mad, but like, how are your feelings going into the final? Are you nervous going into the final?
No, I'm not nervous
at all.
yeah, I'm not nervous.
That's crazy doing this at 15. But when do you start playing video games?
I think at age 7 or 6. Forgotten though.
7 or 6. And when you play FIFA at the time, it was a different game.
No, it was PS1 and PES.
PES. It was eFootball, now transition to FIFA. But you're coming up against one of the best around, Labista. Is there anything you'll be doing differently when you played against Montana or Mayweather? You're going to stick to your game?
Stick to my game.
Stick to your game.
Never change anything.
Well, we'll see if that tactic does indeed work for Kiron. I also leave him so he'll join Labista in the booth for a championship final. Remember, anyone who wins this one gets a chance to get to Nigeria and represents Ghana on the world stage at the big K24 coming up in November. I'm hyped. I'm fired up, and Labista was confident. Kiron answered the questions like a kid who's in the big spotlight. Yeah. To be honest with you, it was perfect. But looking at the two play styles and how much they vary, I know you were speaking closely about how Kiron was playing. Talk us a little bit more about Labista. His play style looks unorthodox, like different from what everybody else does.
Yeah, you know, one thing I always say is if you can actually check the formation Labista plays, he plays 4-2-3-1, the wide one, the second variation, and you know. It's very rare. I mean, even Anders has even moved to 4-3-2-1.
Yeah.
So that should tell you how inconsistent Labista is. But yes, still with the foundation and his basics are still intact. Yeah. So I think his play is not really you can't really predict him that much because he's not really adapting to the new style. Yeah.
The wait is all over now. This game will settle it as to who becomes Ghana champion, and we could see an early marker being set. Oh, Kryan.
Wow.
Opens it up pretty swiftly and early for someone's line. Didn't take him too much time at all.
Wow.
That's just mad.
I mean, he just
look, if he was nervous, this is the perfect way to calm his nerves.
You know, he just brought back this memory. I mean, if you remember Ghana versus Nigeria when I was playing against Real Made, the first year. I mean, with a power shot and into the ball roll, comes into the ball roll. That was crazy.
It's just beautiful. This kid has got it all, and can he go all the way? The best two here at the K24 qualifiers going at it, boot for boot, neck for neck. Remember, Kiron is coming from the loser bracket. He'll have to beat Labista in 2 straight sets. And I know that's going to be tough, but he started in the perfect way possible. They're playing in 6 minutes per half. And there's still a lot of FC action to be played, but he's laid down the marker pretty early. Labista will anticipate that throwing well and win it high up the field. Kolomoani, that's an excellent burst of pace to find space. He's got options in the box. Trameni trying to wriggle his way out of that tight defense that has proven to be difficult for everybody to beat from Kiron so far.
You know, Labista is one of the players. I mean, I would say he's very, very difficult to score. I mean, one thing you have to learn or you have to, take into your gameplay is you shouldn't allow him to take the lead first. Because if he takes the lead, bro.
Then I think Kiron has done the most important thing.
But I mean, Labista also has the capacity, or he has the
capabilities of coming back.
Coming back.
He's got that mentality. I like to call it the mentality monster because nothing seems to face him.
No. Sorry.
Speaking of that mentality, it took him a few minutes as well. This time, kind of a ricochet that kindly fell into Griezmann's path, and the GL Legends man on track to make a comeback. That's pretty early. 15 minutes gone, and we've already got 2 goals. In our other fixtures, it took us a very long time to open the scoring. I think this one has set the tone pretty well, and it's well deserving to be called our grand final. K24 qualifiers. This is the first of the qualifiers among all of the African countries, and I think this one has laid down the marker perfectly. We'll see what the rest of the African countries have got for us, whether it's Nigeria, Kenya, or whoever it will be, because you'll be coming up against, if you are champion, possibly Labista or Kiron. Saliba with a brilliant tackle to their set. Labista on the counter. But Kiron, you've always got to admire someone who has that aggression to win the ball back immediately after he loses it. I think that trait is so difficult to do, because if you keep pushing your players high up the field and you you're not able to time it well, then you commit a lot more bodies and the spaces left in behind. I think Kiron has mastered that art perfectly, and it always seems to create chances for him. But coming up against Labista, you've always got to be careful.
And you know, he always, I mean, whenever he gets the ball, whenever he's on attack, I mean, he attacks as if he doesn't respect you. It's as if he doesn't see anyone ahead of him. He's just coming, just like Anders. That's one thing I like about his attack.
And we're speaking of this off stream about comparing Kiron to Wonder Kid. Kiron, possibly his first major tournament. I did see him at Rep, or yes, it was Montana who actually took him out, but him blossoming at this stage, beating everybody possibly at their peak, because you can say you're still in your prime. Joyce is still in his prime. Montana is still in his prime. Plus Jonas, Dels. You can put all of the best players in that bracket. Possibly Wonder Kid wasn't doing that when everybody was at their prime. Do you feel like his potential might be, his ceiling might be a bit just higher than, of course, the VU Jujuman who we pay our respect?
I'm not gonna lie. You know, VU Jujuman is my idol. You know, as I said earlier on, and you know, from what I've seen, I mean, this guy, 15 years playing at the peak of, I mean, the best players in Ghana, against the best players in Ghana. I mean, that should tell you, I mean, how potential this guy has got in him. And compared to Wonder Kid, I'm going to give it to this guy. I'm going to give it to Kiron.
Yeah, Kiron has put in the work, and it's paying off. And he was on stream saying he's been playing the game when he was like, what, 7 or 8 years old? What were you doing at that time? 7, 8. It's just crazy. He was playing PlayStation 1 at the time. And it's just mad to see him do his stuff. Level pegging still at 1-1. Kiron did open the scoring pretty early on. And he's just blossomed from there on afterwards. That switch of play for Labista to just cool down the nerves into the last 5 minutes of the first half. We go. Kiron on the attack. Look how he brilliantly just switches up the play and sends the runner into a position where it's difficult to track. Gakpo will find Gravenberg. There's also a position where he plays Gravenberg that's so interesting. On that right side of the flank, because he can always lift it into him, because Gravenberg has size. And in 95 overall, if you have players that have size, you can always utilize them.
And you know, one thing I always say about, I mean, playing, wow.
Impressive stuff. As Kiron will take the lead with just a little bit of space for him to work with.
You know, I was saying, with 95 overall, I always say this: you are playing 4-3-2-1, and you attack with your fullbacks. So it's better you play, I mean, a 4-star player, let me say 4-star skillful player at the right back or the left back. I mean, just to know, or even an attacker who is also defensive inclined. Just like a CM or
so like the grabbing back type.
So you can actually attack whenever you are going on attack.
And it also adds a lot of spice if that player you put in that position has height, like grabbing back. It just kind of feels perfect at that point. Do you think a Jude Bellingham could play in that position?
Yeah, I think so. Because one thing I've also noticed in 95 overall is, I mean, you have to go with players with height. I mean, it favors them a lot. Over 95.
And that's why we've seen the likes of Giroud flourish. We've seen Vegas have his time, even at some point Darwin Nunes as well. Labista now down by a goal.
Wow, that was a very good tackle.
Great tackle coming in from Kiron. Always admire when someone makes a defensive stop in FC24, because I know it's not easy. Highly inclined offensive iteration of the game so far. Robertson.
I just like his one-on-one standing tackle. He's very accurate with his one-on-one.
You've always got to be, the word I'll use here is certain. Certain that this tackle that I'm going in for, I'm going to possibly win it. If you're not certain, then you give a penalty away. You've got to be sure of yourself, and he's got that maturity about him. Robertson, Kiron on the attack again. We see a comeback from him. He gets into a promising position, but Luis Diaz well crowded as Labista will hold possession of the ball and just calm things down. You always like to look at the choice of the French centre-backs that Labista uses, and throughout the whole of the tournament, I think he's played Saliba and, if I'm right, Upamecano. That pair has been very, very key for him. I think they've done a good job so far. And that's why Labista is trusting them in this final as well.
You know, I would always go for Konate and Saliba with
Konate and Saliba.
Yeah.
in your
I mean,
opinion.
you see, I said earlier on, it has to do with height. And if you check the height of Upamecano, I think he's 6'1".
Yeah, I think
6'1".
Konate is just slightly higher.
Yeah, so I think I'm going to go with Konate.
But are you a fan of also playing Kunde at right back?
No, not really.
I think he limits your offense.
I'm more of an attacker, so I would rather choose, Klaus or Gusto for the right back. Yeah.
Well, for Labista, he stick with the Barcelona man at right back. Currently down by 2-1, just 60 minutes gone off the game clock. A whole 30 minutes, and in FC, that's a chunk of time. Playing 6 minutes as well, there's a lot still to be decided here. Brilliant two ball. We'll find Mbappe. Has options left to right, center to pick if he wants to. He'll recycle it though. That's just calm. And I've spoken a lot about recycling the ball and how underrated it can be sometimes. But if you're able to do that at the right time, you can just create space for yourself. We'll see another pass shot cancel this time around. Come from Labista. Still relentless on the press. Giroud just trying to bully his way through with strength. But when you've got Virgil van Dijk at the back, you're always assured of a masterclass in that position. Two players who, coming into this tournament, one of them would have surely expected himself to be in the top 4 and the top 8, but the other nowhere near here. For Kiron coming into this one, possibly in his mind, he's thinking, okay, if I get to the knockouts, I've done well. But to make it to the grand final,
that's crazy.
To be on the verge of possibly winning that first game against Labista might just be the greatest fairy tale story in our esports history. That's crazy.
It's going to be crazy, and it's going to be a lot of tension if he's to, reset the bracket. Yeah, that's one thing I wouldn't. if I'm Labista, I wouldn't want it to happen. To reset
resetting the bracket just puts you in a tough time, because the last time at the crossover tournament, when Guy Kobe reset the brackets against Troyes Badger, you could feel the pressure, even though the convict man did take the victory. In our last international tournament to take someone to Nigeria, someone reset the bracket and he won 2 straight games. He was kicked out of the tournament today, though, Mayweather. Maybe that's the trend this one might take, as Kiron still leading by 2-1. Labista might have other things on his mind. That was well worked. But the last ditch tackle from Kiron, who just seems a little bit frustrated for giving away at that position. It has already cost him a goal in this tournament before, and he'll be bailed out by that pass going offside from Labista.
The defense of Kiron, it seems so compact, but he's playing 4-3-2-1, and I simply just don't understand.
How constantly 4-3-1, there are gaps.
Yeah,
there are serious gaps. So what this kid is doing right now is just crazy. And for Labista, he's got to seriously lock in. Down to the last 14 we go. Gravenberg, he's been a constant feature of Kiron's greatness so far, and he's found space now. Looking for the cushion and will end a corner out. So we haven't seen too many corner kicks being scored in today's K24 qualifiers. And maybe the story could change here. You play a shot as you find Diaz. Has to have the composure, back post cross. The Egyptian on the wing. Heading into the final 10 minutes. And our first game here in the grand final, mind you, Kiron coming from the loser bracket side of things, and Labista still unbeaten up till now. Kiron with some space. Oh, that was an important one from William Saliba. Great tackle to keep Labista still within the reach of an equalizer. Saliba for him again. Hernandez. I don't even think, if we are speaking of nervous players right now, we've got to add Kryan into that bracket, because he's already played an extra nervy game against Montana in that semi-final that saw them actually go to penalties. He has to find a way to channel that energy back into this final, of course, for Labista. He can get a close one, and he's found some space. Oh, just a bit too early, and he's been flagged for offside. 4 minutes to go. Remember that in Kyron's game against Montana, he did give a ball away in the final minutes that cost him. It is a huge lesson right here for him. As look at the press.
Giving the ball away.
The press is just mad from Labista now. Just putting the press on. Rabiot. The pass way outside into Traumeni. Would it be a dramatic one, but an excellent tackle from Gakpo, as Kiron is just minutes away from resetting the bracket. Not the ideal situation for him. You have to do it the hard way. Great defending. Labista will have the final chance to go, and Kiron will take a big win. You take a big win in game 1, and it has now set us up for a game 2, which could be.
At this stage, this is where you have lots of butterflies in your stomach. You know, I said it earlier. I wouldn't want this to happen if you're in Labeastar's shoe at this moment. I mean, you've got to have lots of butterflies in your stomach at the moment.
Labista, he's been in this position before. It's not new territory for him, and he's got to put everything together, experience, form, everything he's got against this kid. Because Kryan looks like he's coming for everybody. Had to go through Montana and they went to penalties. Had to go through the difficult Mayweather as well to book a spot in this final. And he has reset the bracket. Can he grab another win? Is the big question as we head into this game. And are we going to see something different from Labista in game 2? Because I felt like in game 1, Kryan control things.
You know, if I should put myself in his shoe, I think I would be a little bit shaky because you can tell that the Kryan has the momentum now, so you are rather trying to protect that win. That's how it looks like to me now.
Because coming into this final, the heavy favorite was Labista, but it's not all done yet. We still got the whole of this game to see who will be the last man standing. Mind you, coming into these finals, Labista was untouched. He was unbeaten. He already beat Mayweather to drop him down to the loser bracket. And he was untouched. It's just Kryan who's beaten him here so far. But he's got to prevent that from happening again if he wants to be crown champion here today. Konate will start slowly from the back with Van Dijk for Kryan. It's the positions that he's got some of these players in. Like we said earlier, Gravenberg in an unorthodox right wing kind of position. It just gives him that advantage because he's got height, he's got the size, he's got some speed on him as well. Because remember, we're playing 95 overall. And for the likes of Gravenberg, it's always an advantage for him. Speaking of the man, he'll win a header for him. Bayetic. Salah. Van Dijk again. Look how composed he is already. Another switch of play from Kryan. They've been pretty good to work so far. They just kind of open things up and gives him a lot more options to find. Great turn from Diaz. The ball control is immaculate. And it could spell danger for Labista here. As Kryan will be on the break, the recycling it just a little bit too much. As Labista will get back in position.
I'm not really surprised with how the kid is playing at the moment because I'm seeing more of Prince Jonas's gameplay in the kid. To be honest, yeah, I mean this is how Jonas, he plays. His possession and he's attacking, how he passes the ball and everything. Players are not really well positioned, but then he passes the ball and it's an accurate pass.
Big Up said he sees a little bit of Prince Jonas in him, and it's not surprising that Prince Jonas is actually the one who's been grooming this kid. And coming from a GFA trophy champion, it's no surprise at all. It is no surprise at all that him and Dels have been able to do an incredible job on Kryan up till now. Could he do something historic coming up against Labista? 26 minutes gone in game 2. It's the direct opposite of what we saw in game 1. Actually, game 1, we did see Kryan open the lead so early. Labista's response didn't take too much time either. But this one has gone quiet. It's gone cold so far. Trying to lobby into Mbappe. Great defense. As Van Dijk will be there to stop it.
Kryan is so disciplined when it comes to defending. With some balls, you are being tempted to commit to the center pass, but I don't really see him being.
A lot of people will panic at that position and just give it away. But the calmness to be able to play back to your goalkeeper and know you have to take your time with the build-up is just out of this world.
There's one factor also. He being 15-year-old, he being a teenager. He doesn't really have anything to lose at this stage. Unlike if you have bills to pay and all that, you are really focused on the bills because if you don't win this tournament, I mean, that's, I mean, your ends meet and all that. So he doesn't really have, I mean, a lot of things to think about yet. That's also
Exactly, nothing to lose in this one. But for Labista, if he gets this win, you've got to put him in the upper echelons of that bracket in possibly top 5 all time when they can't say Esports FC in the country, because he's done it. He's done it before. One of the very few players to be on international waters and actually bring home a medal. Usually we go and it's not a great story when we come back, but for Labista, he's done it already, and he could have another chance right here with a K24 qualifies. Excellent decoy run spotted by Big Ups, but Labista can't capitalize, and Kiron will win it back with Van Dijk. Heading into the final stages of what has been a KG Game 2 in our final, and as expected, both players not looking to commit, a lot more bodies forward, a lot more cautious now. Kiron playing it safe, and Labista seems to be the one that is taking a lot more risk at this point. Great interception, but Kiron win it back.
You see, as I told you earlier on, if the game should be, I mean, if the game should go to reset, there's going to be a lot of tension. You can actually see clearly now that I mean, the risk taking is very much less compared to the first
Very
game.
low now.
Yeah,
extremely low. And you just kind of feel like they're not committing a lot more bodies forward. And if you have more bodies forward, it means more options for you. And just like this on the counter, possibly Labista to end his first off on a high. He's got bodies up front now. Mbappe, you lift it up into a weird position, to be honest with you. Kind of felt like Kolomwani was in the perfect position to receive that cross. But the first half will end goalless. Wow. Grand final, and still being able to keep his composure. Look at Prince Jonas in the background, just giving him a little bit of the tips and coaching him right to the end. I think Jonas also deserves a lot of credit for this one. He's done a wonderful job already.
He's done a very good job. I mean, he's told me about this Kryan for a very long, but today is actually my first time meeting the guy, and you see, I had to see this for myself, because I was like, for 15 years there, his play is going to be a normal play, but I mean, playing against
to understand the basics and also top it up with the meta it's just mad at this point. Labista.
He's so
looking to
composed. I mean, he's so disciplined with his center backs. I mean, he doesn't really commit a lot. He knows when to commit. He knows when to bring in the center back to come for the standing tackle. That's very impressive of him.
Timing is just everything in FC, and Kiron seems to have it at his fingertips. For Labista, he's had it at his fingertips for a very long time in this game, and he's just looking to channel some of those things that he has. Oh, that's a risky tackle. That's a very risky tackle. And is there a red card in there? Was very lucky.
That was a very technical foul.
With just yellow.
No, I mean, if he had not gone for the foul, tackle, I mean, he would have
had the open space.
Yeah, I mean, you know, this control sprint is very, I mean,
by an FC24, you've always got to be wary about free kicks.
You know, right?
I've seen quite a few of them go down already, and it seems like Labista has scoring from direct in his mind. We'll see how it pans out for him. You play a shot. Griezmann cancel the fake shot into Mbappe. From this standpoint, doesn't look well executed, but chance is still not going with Koundé. Griezmann on the right wing has Giroud, Kolomwani, and Theo Hernandez coming from the left back spot in the box for as options for him to find. Instead finds Rabiot, an excellent defending from Kiron again. Brilliant stuff already from these two guys. They have put on a show. Game 1, they made us enjoy the goals. In game 2, a lot more tactical, a lot more discipline on the defensive end. Kiron with some open space. And look at the player lock, just to bait the run a bit. And he'll find Nunes, Robertson. Kiron, the control is just to mark it. How that pass get through? I felt like Rabiot was in the area, but unfortunately for him, was able to go to. And for Labista, keeping composed is excellent from him. Nunes for Kiron again. Knows when to switch it up into possessive style, and of course playing on the quick counter. The player lock again will open some space as Nunes on the right, Nunes on the left wing looks nice.
You know, talking about discipline when it comes to defending, I have to also give it to Labista.
Yeah.
You know, that's one thing I always say. He's a very difficult opponent to score. You know, he also doesn't really commit with his centre backs. He likes defending compact. That's why you can actually see the kind of formation he's playing. He's playing 4-2-3-1. I mean, this formation goes long way. I don't know if it's FIFA 19 or 20. I mean, that has been the basic formation, and I mean, he still uses this formation to, I mean, win more games, and not even talk about games, I mean, tournaments, and represent the country on international level. And it was this same formation, I mean, he was playing. That's very good of him.
That's crazy. He's had this for so long, and he's got to tap into it once again. Heading into the final 20. We've had dramatic scenes all over on the live stream here today.
I'm seeing a comment here. Abedi says I can really analyze the game better than I play. That's very true. I mean, I think I know this for myself. That's very, very true. And one guard, which is Guy Kobe, he says, "Pick us for stop the gameplay, mom. Charlie, I'll go show the gameplay. I'll go retire very soon."
If Big Ups retire, he can't join me. Open space for Labista.
This is going to be difficult.
He gets the opener, and it took him 70 minutes. And it could be the one to sail him through to the championship. Big goal coming up. Beautiful build-up as well. And the lateral heel to heel was just confusing. Like, I mean, you don't usually see that in the 18
that's so unusual. I mean, this is pure Labista gameplay, and it's on. I've not seen him use
it before. You're not expecting.
This is actually. I mean, that's how he likes to play. But I've not really seen him utilizing these skills. I mean, in this tournament, this particular tournament, and this like an unaware skill move. That guy, he caught him off guard. I should say. Yeah, I mean, I said earlier on, should Labista take the lead?
In trouble.
now, I think now the viewers are now going to understand what it means. I mean, the definition of sweaty and being ratty. Yeah.
Well, for both players, it's lock-in time now.
Wait, I'm seeing something. Did I just see Labista switching to 4-3-2-1-2? I mean, to get a goal. Wow, that was so brilliant of me. I mean, he's also adapting to the new, the new formation in the game. Even Anders has even he ran from 4-4-2.
15 minutes to go. Labista 15 minutes away from grabbing the championship, if he can indeed hold on to that lead. Or has Kiron got yet another brilliant chapter in this wonderful storybook of his? To be honest with you, it's a storybook that has had ups and downs, twists and turns, but the ups have been so much more. At this point, he's just down a bit, but I kind of feel like he's just done it, or he's got 15 minutes to change the scoreline, or that will be the end. And what a remarkable story that will be. But for Labista, he's been in this position before, leading in the final, and he's confident going into the last 15.
To me, I'm not seeing an equalizer. I can't lie. I mean, I know Labista.
But funny enough, if you take your mind back to Kiron's game against Montana, he did have a last minute equalizer.
Montana is more of an offensive player, unlike Labista. Labista is more of a defensive guy. And at this point in time with the lead 1-0, I'm not sure it's going to give it away just like that. It's going to be very, very difficult. I mean, it's not impossible, but it's actually difficult. To break him at this point in time.
The difficulty level has been set at ultimate now for Kiron. And if he's able to do this, well, that would just be incredible. He's got about 10 minutes and change to switch up something here.
This is where experience works a lot. I mean, with experience, we could actually tell Labista has the experience as compared to Kiron, because Labista, he's been in the scene for a very long time, and Kiron came just recently. Let me say, I think this is probably
his second or third tournament he's ever played. 8 minutes to go now. It's getting tensious. We are minutes away from crowning our champion. We are minutes away from seeing the last man standing, and at this point, it looks like it might just be Labista. Or that guy has something up his sleeve on the 10 with Gakpo, Grafenberg in the area. He's got bodies in the 18-yard area. Look how composed Labista is. No flipped it.
Wow. Wow. Never saw this coming.
Impeccable. Out of nothing. And the step over, creating the space. Labista for sure didn't expect that one, because if you look at how his defenders were positioned, it looked like it came as a surprise to him.
I think Kiron just shut me up. He was like, "Big as what he's saying, just keep your mouth shut over there." Because I never saw this coming. Labista to take this lead. I mean, in the 72nd minute.
3 minutes to go now in this mouth-watering final. The best of them so far. We left the best for last. And what a fairy tale story it's been for Kryan. Would he set another extra time date with Labista again? Or will he leave it dramatic to the last final kick of the game? 2 minutes to go. Could this be a turnaround? Curtis Jones.
Could this be a turnaround?
For Gakpo. Labista's got to be careful. Gravenberg.
Could this be a turnaround?
Same position that got him the goal. We'll catch it back into Gakpo. Jones. Sabo slide. Special.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
And you see
mind blowing. Mind blowing. Mind blowing.
With the final kick of the game.
Mind blowing. Mind blowing.
Wow. This is what
mind blowing.
This is what
mind blowing.
Yes.
At this point,
24 champion for Ghana. Wow.
Wow. Wow. I'm so short of words at this moment, because I mean, I know how Labista, I know how disciplined Labista is. I mean, I'm just short of words. I just don't know what to say.
Can you pull your big ass face?
I mean, I'm so short of words. I know how Labista defends. I know how disciplined Labista is. This is so crazy.
Match.
This is so crazy, guys. I just don't know what to say, because I mean, this doesn't happen.
It doesn't happen.
You know the EAFC community knows what I'm really talking about. Labista taking the lead at the 72nd minute. I mean, it's a done deal.
It's a done deal.
It's an end game.
I don't get this. Like, we're so in shock here. And for those of you watching at home,
goosebumps all over me. Goosebumps all over me. This mad. This crazy.
And you know what?
Wow.
We saved the best for last, guys.
Wow.
And wow.
This crazy.
I'm out of expressions for him. Kiron, 15-year-old, took out Mayweather, took out Montana, and now has beaten Labista in 2 straight games. And in both of the games, he didn't need extra time. That's how great he was, and that's how great the tournament has been. It's been crazy, it's been beautiful, and that's the K24 qualifiers for you.
You know, I said, I'm very sure Kiron heard me saying, there's no way
he can come back.
He was like, big ups, can you just shut up your mouth? I mean, that was the response he gave me, and I'm shocked. I mean, I'm just short of words.
It's been mad, but that'll be the end of the Ghana qualifiers. It's been a wonderful time here so far. I hope you did enjoy it. Yeah, the K24 Ghana qualifiers. They'll be in and around other African countries. Make sure you tune into their stream as well. But I want to say a big thank you to each and every single one of you for being here. It's been a massive time here. Shout out to KD Sports for pulling this one off. Game Info, Event 4 Plus, GA, Anyway, and Nexo Gaming. To our sponsors right here in Ghana as well, our supporters, everybody who's made it possible. VGA Esports, our media team, Esports Academy, a wonderful vote. And our winner is in here as well. Let's catch him in the shorts. You know what? I don't want you to say anything. Just one expression for me. How are you feeling after that one?
I'm feeling good. I knew I'll win this game.
You knew you win.
Yeah. The game he was playing, it's not a game level that I can win.
It's just crazy at this point, but we are the closing stages. So final words from Kiron. When you were down by a goal to 70 minutes, you just got 20 minutes against Labista. What did you change?
I didn't change anything.
You didn't change anything. So even that pause.
I didn't use what I changed.
Wow, he changed something, but he ended up not using it. So congratulations to Kiron. He'll be in Nigeria in November for the big K24 coming up. Stay tuned, don't go anywhere. Big ups has some final words before we close this one out.
I want us to really analyze the 2 goals he scored. You see, with the first goal, there was an open pass at the top where he actually read Labista was actually going to tackle, and he baited him, and he
baited Labista to think he was going to give that pass,
and then with a step over
space open up for the step over.
That was how he opened up. And with the second game, he got similar then, and Labista thought he was going to do the step over, but then he rather passed it to the top, and that also created the open space from over there.
That's
very brilliant,
guys. Like big ups here to break it down for you. I hope you enjoyed the stream. We'll see you some other time. It's bye for now.
Time to wake up to a new reality.
What's going on, everyone? I am General